around the upcoming match season. We've had a lot of questions, so I want to first tackle the questions that we've received over WhatsApp, Telegram, other channels. So the first question we have obviously relates to the COVID situation and what are some of the aspects of the candidate's application that programs will pay particular attention to. So as you can imagine, we have a panel of physicians and we help students in their application, ERAS, PSCV, interview prep, and this is something that we discuss every day with our panel on what will change, how the season is different. So first, the COVID obviously has changed a lot of things, right? It has been a great equalizer in some respects, and it has aligned the interest of most programs regarding what they will want to see in a candidate. So we think programs will focus on experiences that highlight the individual skills in USCE, United States, or even their home country. Programs are obviously more than ever curious to know how healthcare in your home country, how that system has handled the current situation relating to COVID. Your experiences documenting your commitment to medicine, even if it is a volunteer experience, maybe full-time work experience, they will appreciate that. So that is the first question that we received. Now let me go on to the next question. We are doing a lot of tele-rotations, and even on the USMLE Sarthi website you'll see many tele-rotations, and this is because A, the travel issues are there, and B, many rotations are closed. So the question is, how do I use tele-rotations to my advantage? Now, while telehealth is an evolving concept, it is not that it just came up last year, but tele-rotations is a definitely new concept that the programs and many clinics and hospitals are using. It is obviously difficult to equate it to the actual hands-on experience, but there are obviously steps you can take to make the best use of this opportunity, and we did talk about it in the webinar last weekend that is available on YouTube. You should look it up, and also there are many tele-rotations opportunities on our website that you can look up. But mostly, if during tele-rotation there may be an opportunity for case presentations or didactics, that seems to be the most valuable piece of tele-rotations. So you may come across as rare case presentation. You should note it, either read it up, discuss it with your team, or write a case report on it. You can mention this in your ERAS application along with what you did as part of the research on the case presentation. And many colleges in the US had suspended, they continue to have this rotation suspended, which means that most IMGs are in a similar situation with no USCE. So it is not something that the programs are not going to understand. So this will be something that we all will be aware of, programs will be aware of. So you can always be sure that this is something not unusual. Then the next question, let me pick up here. This relates to interview invite. So as we get into the home stretch and application are winding up, we have only 1 month to go. Many of our students are asking this question, and we have debated this with our panel. How many interviews in general, over and above average or below average, will a program send out this year? So as you are aware, most programs will shift to virtual interview setup during the process, and they will have the flexibility and the bandwidth to allow more candidates for interviewing. So you can expect more interview invites to go out unless there is some kind of a cap that is put on, but we haven't heard anything. Our panel has not heard anything on a cap. So expect more interviews to go out, but you should expect each interview date or each interview slot or the total duration just as a last year's or previous seasons sessions, maybe running 5 to 8 hours, where they will have a group of students interacting, whether it's one-on-one interview or some other discussion. So then the next question, related question, is how will the virtual interviews be conducted this year? And what our panelists believe, what we think will happen is similar to previous years. Either you will see that quote unquote virtual day starting with some kind of a presentation about the program, maybe program director, maybe chief resident, short introduction about the program. It could be an online platform, of course, maybe something already pre-recorded that you'll get to see. Could follow up with an online tour of the hospital from a resident's perspective. Then the interviews could be with a panel of physicians or individual physicians. So just like in the previous seasons, one-on-one interviews will be there. Could be panel interview, could be lunch, could be meet the resident on online, to ask your questions, so on and so forth. Then of course the related question is, how do we prepare for these interviews? So obviously there are interview preparation is slightly a long-term game. You cannot prepare it on the same day of the interview, so give it enough time. There are some basic questions on our website, and you can also look at some of the behavioral questions, some of the medical questions, non-technical questions, generic questions that we prepare our students for. So in terms of questions, you can see those questions. In terms of preparation, of course, practice is one of the key things. The more you practice, the better you become. And then personalization of responses, personalization, not giving generic answers, is another tip. Third is customization of those responses for the program. So not all programs are looking for the same kind of skills and experience. Of course, there is a common thread that runs, but whether it is a community program or whether it's a university program, so you got to customize all those responses. Now, of course, if you happen to join our interview prep, we will walk you through each one of them. So personalization of responses, customization of responses, making sure you are aware of some of the common questions that are asked, and these are some of the things. Then of course each program has a style. So we have a database. We actually having alumni in more than 150 200 programs. We have a good sense of what a typical program, each program looks for. So we have those kind of questions if you're interested in. The next question is, how significant will be the social media play or your presence this season? How you should use it to your advantage? Like previous seasons, this season as well, individuals' social media preference or presence actually should be monitored. The programs will pay attention and importance to your social media presence. So use your common sense. Be mindful of your comments on social media. That's the most commonsensical answer. There are obviously social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, which programs are starting to use in this season to spotlight their faculty members, open houses, and they are trying to go more digital to bring more applicants to the programs. So this is something that is going to be a trend. So make sure you are comfortable using social media, make sure you are comfortable going to these open houses about the programs, and then you should be able to get a lot of information about the programs and how they are all set up, what are they looking for in the applicants, and maybe even tailor your personal statement to what you hear about the programs. So those were some of the questions that we had received, and I'll now open it up to the viewers. If you have any questions and you want to type in, so we'll take it. I think my team is there, so we are going to take it. Okay, so let me go through some of the questions that are coming up. What do we do if we are not ECFMG certified on time October 21st, as it may be delayed by a couple of weeks? So this is one of the most pressing questions, and many of the home country licensing authorities may have a role to play in the delay and all, something which you cannot control. And our recommendation to our students as well as to this audience is this year programs will be more lenient. Even if you are not certified on October 21st, we strongly believe you should apply without certification. Typically, as an IMG, you should have at least step 1 and CK. So if you have these two scores, go ahead and apply, assuming rest of the stuff is there, your LORs, transcript and all. Don't worry about the ECFMG certification as of October 21st. These things this season would be different.